Hello, I decided to do this video because I've never really expressed this before, but this is going to be my story of how I ended up on Talk Life, and I'm going to try to keep it together while telling this story, but it's a hard one to deal with. So, just before I was on Talk Life, I was trying to go through sites like Tagged, not for the purpose of dating, just to meet new friends. And at that point, I was losing most of my friends. So, I guess it was kind of like searching for ways to make new ones. And I'd never really dealt with problems up to that point, because I tend to have the habit of going on bus trips, travelling, escaping the problem. But eventually it always catches up with you. But at that point in time, I had a really good friend. I'm not going to name anyone because it's just not fair. And even though I'm kind of hurt by this person, it's still not about naming people, it's just not the right thing to do. And no matter how much pain they cause me, I'm never going to give any of their secrets out. That is just not me. But, I thought I'd found the best friendship in the world with this one girl. And I kind of agree with why it ended. I'm not complaining about that. But we were just literally so attached to each other that she'd even cry when I was going home. Like, we had this sealed tight bond. But at that point in my life, I was still a bit messed up, and my friendship kind of turned into, love. I fell in love with this girl, and I didn't honestly say it because I didn't want to lose her as a friend, so I tried to hide the whole thing, and that just felt like the best thing at the time. So at that point in time, I was telling her everything about my life. She knew all the secrets I had. There's nothing about me she didn't know. And she was the same. But she kind of led me on without even meaning to. She was giving me out all her info, like telling me her sex life, giving me details I didn't particularly need to know. And when you fall in love with someone, you don't mean to, you just get into this sort of thing. And that's what dragged me in. I got attached, and because we were so close and cuddly anyway, we were always right there with each other, trying to be best friends, 24/7 together. Even got to the point where I was going to see her whole family on the weekends and staying at the house and going home at late o'clock at night. But that was literally it. She had the person to turn to for everything. And at this point in time, I had about 3 other friends. I mean, I was doing well with all of them. But this one friend I'm talking about was like the rock. She's the one I go to about everything. I'd tell her everything about myself. All the secrets. I wouldn't leave any details out. And there come to a point where I started to get really I was too attached, and she had a boyfriend, and jealousy started to take over, so I was trying to split them up, and in the end it worked. I managed to split them up. But after that, she started hanging around with another friend. And it was kind of just, obviously you're going to have more than one friend, you're going to go and hang with someone else. So she went to her for everything, so they live in the same town, they went to the same school. She was just there to help. So this girl decided to tell me that she can't promise I'll always be her favourite friend, which is kind of what I cling on to, At that time, I was all about being the number one sort of thing, because I've kind of been pushed out my whole life as it is. So, when she said that, I was quite hurt, and I went out the door, slammed it in a mood, and went home. Now, that was kind of wrong on me. But anyway, I'd sent her some, well, they weren't direct messages, but I was kind of flirting with her without, like, giving anything out. I was trying to keep myself hidden and not show that I was in love with this girl. And I'm not kidding. It just got really messy really quickly when she split with her boyfriend. I started getting jealous, making stupid comments. And in the end, she went and threw every secret I'd ever told to her to one of her other mates. Showed all my messages to her. And, like, obviously I trusted her with my life. So for her to go and do that was just like a big betrayal. And I was kind of hurt by that. But I tried to just get over it and stuff, but I was proper in love. And then eventually we fell out because she done it. She blocked me, she didn't want to know me. So I kind of had to accept it, but when we fell out, I went a bit off the rails. And I started pushing all my other friends out because I'd been hurt and I didn't want to get hurt again. And I could see things going wrong in those friendships as well. And just tried to get my way out of them before I got hurt. But I left another mess behind myself doing that. And it was kind of a fight and flight thing. I chose flight. And I was trying to protect myself, but I pushed these friends away as well. And I'm not kidding, they haven't spoke to me since either. So I ended up with no one but my girlfriend at the time. Now, me and her are friends now, but back then she was with me and like she was the only person left in my life. So, I went there every day. She got mental health problems as well. Eventually she fell out with me. I was completely on my own. My phone had broken. All my devices, like I had nothing to do at home. I couldn't even watch TV because my mum's got problems of her own and she can't handle the noise all the time. So I ended up sitting in my room, watching TV when I was allowed it on, and other times just sitting there quietly. I had a phone, a cheap old Nokia, and I wouldn't text anyone because I didn't have anyone to text. And I tried using the internet when I had a chance, but I had to borrow my mum's phone, so I didn't really have any communication with anyone. But I'd met one girl at that point. I guess I just put myself wherever I could because that was all I could do. And I had no friends left. My girlfriend had left me. And I was by myself. So when I got my new phone, I just happened to come across TalkLife online. I don't know how I came across it, I just did. But I was in a dark place then. Like, I'd sit there playing my Xbox game, I had no friends. When I had to go out for my mum's Tuesday appointment, I had to go sit in a park with the radio on in my ears. I had literally nothing to do. And I had no one talking to me, I was completely on my own. So, when I found TalkLife after getting my new phone, that was kind of a big relief. And I was a mess. I mean, all my emotions I turned into ice. I was just numbing everything and like trying to avoid what's happened. And I was lying to myself. I was saying I was fine, but I'm not kidding. I wanted to cry 24/7. And then I started using TalkLive, talking to people. I went the wrong way about it though. I used it I'm not gonna lie, I asked for nudes, sent a few of my own. I found another girlfriend on there. Me and her were together for over a year. And I got with her. You know, I had no one at this point, so I just sort of used what I could. Like, it's just what do you do when you have no one, nothing, like you're on your own? We ended up meeting up, and like I hadn't let anyone in for ages because I sort of put a wall up around myself and didn't want anyone to know that they could hurt me or. So I gave this girl a chance. I started opening up to her. I got really close to her. And in the end, she met a guy at school. Well, it was college. I was already on Talk Life trying to get to be a buddy. At the time I was in a bad place still, like. Again, I say I had no one apart from this girl I'd met on Talk Life. We met up a few times. Like. I thought, like, someone was finally there, and I thought it's like the answer to all my problems. I was soon to find out it's not, because she met another guy in college, and we had a little row, and the next thing I know, she'd been meeting up with a guy that loved her. So alarm bells rung in my head, like, I was like, but why are you doing that? You know he's in love with you, why are you going to meet him? And I took offence. What am I meant to do? I've been pushed out my whole life. People have found better. So she used that argument as an excuse to get with this guy. She completely split up with me the same day and got with this guy. And that was just before I come Wolf the Positive. So I set my heart on another goal because before that I'd been just look for someone to love and someone to love me back. It never worked. I mean, now I don't have any real friends apart from Carrie and Matt. Carrie's my ex. And, like, she's the sort of person who can see when I'm upset. She'll walk up to me, say one thing, and I'll burst into tears. I don't know how she does it. She's just got the knack. So I see them every day now, but this is why I'm on Talk Life now. Before it was about because I needed someone and I was going the wrong way about it. Now I've started to realise I can't make new friends. No one's going to accept me. So I just kind of try and take a professional approach. Talk to people to help others. I know half of them won't stay friends with me. I know, like, I probably won't speak to them again. But it's actually raised my own confidence. Like, I can help people and I can feel like the chat was worth it. I can feel like I've done someone a favour and someone's proud of what I've done. And I can feel less hopeless and I feel like I've got a purpose in life. Yeah, I don't have many friends now, I have 2. And I'm not in a relationship, I've just stayed single because every relationship hurts me. But, at least now I'm doing something other than sitting here playing on games. I'm going to be godfather to Carrie's baby, which is very unusual, and the person she's with, I went to school with. And, like, in that way it's looking up. I'm not going to lie, I miss this girl that I was with. And just the thought, we tried to be friends, but just the thought of her being in love with this other guy, it's just painful to even think of. And I'm not going to lie and say I'm happy. Yeah, I'm Wolf the Positive. But I'll never truly be happy. Or at least not in the time I can see ahead. But I guess what I can say is I'm coping with what I'm doing. I'm about to go to the gym, start getting fitted up, trying to... Like, I had fatty liver last year. And now I'm focusing on trying to keep myself alive. Like, I know I don't always feel like I want to because of my mental health and depression. I'm actually going to try doing it just for my... yeah. I might as well stay alive. I've got nothing to lose and nothing to gain either way. But, yeah, my life's pretty screwed up. I'm not gonna lie. But I can see a time in my life where all I can see is black and it was a lot worse, so... I guess I just wanted to share this story to help others like I always do, but this has not been an easy video for me to make. because I'm currently struggling with this one. Like, today I felt like crying quite a lot because of that ex. Like, I just wish she'd come waltzing back through that door saying she split up with him. It's not going to happen, and I've completely removed her from my life. But parts of me just wish she would just walk in the door. Like, you can't help it. When you're in love, you're in love. And I'm just hoping I get over her soon. But this is one of the biggest parts of my story I've ever told, and the most painful by far. So, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this helps some people, and thanks for listening.